Well, hello and welcome back to our series Monsters Within. I'm Jennifer Stanley, and today we are shining the light on the Enneagram 5. Yes, those independent, smart, curious fives. Now, the monster that hangs out for the five is named avarice, or this is the monster of greed, of holding on instead of letting go. So, if you are a five or you know someone who is, get ready because we are ready for 9 in 9. Enneagram wisdom for life. Let's dive in. Okay, before we face the monster of the Enneagram 5, let's talk about what makes fives so remarkable. Fives are deeply curious, they're insightful, and they have such a talent for taking complex ideas and lots of information and like condensing it down and helping it make sense. They are experts at analyzing. So, thoughtful observation allows fives to see lots of possibilities and lots of outcomes. They're able to just help make sense of a lot of information at one time. Fives are also incredibly self sufficient. They have an ability to and a desire to solve problems on their own. And they want to find their own solutions because they want to be independent. Now, one of their strengths is actually digging underneath the surface and figuring out why when other people won't really go there. Okay, this strength of being able to dig deep is part of why the monster avarice or greed is so tricky because it's really hiding behind the brilliance of the five when and that the avarice is basically kind of whispering, don't give too much, don't let go because you might not have enough. Like there's a sense of scarcity. So let's talk about avarice, or another word for it is greed. And it's not the kind of greed that is about money or material possessions necessarily, but it's a greed of protection around energy, knowledge, resources, time, emotions, and even sometimes love. So it creeps in pretty quietly and it convinces the five to like hold back, to hoard, and to avoid sharing what could actually help another person or connect them to a relationship. Avarice is all about clinging tightly to, again, time, energy, knowledge, emotions, money, just the five's resources. So it's something in the mind of the five, like telling them that it's not enough. Like there is not enough out there. And so I have to protect, I have to hold tight to what I have because I may need it. I may need it to survive later. I may need it in order to protect my energy later. I may need it because I might be left out on my own here. There's also a sense of holding back because a five never wants to look incompetent. And so while they may be 99.9% sure that they have it figured out or that they have the right answer, the five is still holding back on maybe sharing that because what if they're wrong? If we put that in a relational aspect, the five might withhold affection or maybe talking about their feelings because if they were to take that risk emotionally, it might leave them feeling exposed and potentially not looking competent and independent. So, this is how avarice can really sneak into the life of a five. And just for the classic Enneagram 5 example, most fives really, really hate being interrupted. And whether that's by like a coworker or a family member dropping in unexpectedly, or maybe the phone buzzing in the middle of deep work, uh, just anything that interrupts the flow of what's going on can really cause that little monster of avarice to jump out and go, oh no, this is going to deplete my energy, they're going to take my energy, they're going to take my flow in this moment. And so fives will go to a lot of work to really protect themselves from interruptions, including like making sure their door is closed, keeping their earphones on and their headphones on. And it's okay to do that when it's a matter of like getting good work done. But when it comes to just being afraid of interruptions because they might steal something or steal energy, that's probably not the most healthy environment that we want a five living in, no matter how it shows up, whether that's in work, whether that's in relationships, or just the daily life of the five. The monster of avarice really takes a thrill and it really thrives on isolation, fear, and scarcity. So being aware of this, being aware of that monster that's kind of having a little party, getting you to be all isolated and afraid to let go, that's what we want to call into the light. We become aware of it, and then what can we do with it? Okay, well, first of all, notice the avarice, notice the greed, notice the scarcity mindset starting to take hold. And really, you want to ask yourself in that moment, like, am I holding back from fear of running out of whatever it is? Am I holding back out coming from a place of fear? That's number one. Number two, then I want you to challenge that scarcity mindset because you will always find what you're looking for. So, scarcity breeds scarcity, and abundance breeds abundance. We really want to challenge when you feel that avarice coming in to really reframe, to flip the script and ask, like, how can I turn this scarcity mindset into abundance? And then number three, be more intentional about participating. Participate more. Share your time. Share what you know, even if you're not 100% sure that you've got absolutely everything you need. Share your energy, share your resources. A really, really great question to ask as a five, like, how can I be generous with my resources today? And it's all form of resources. Start small. Maybe just leave your door open a little bit more than you would have. Start small, but start soon because the more you practice abundance, the more it will become natural. The ultimate goal of the Enneagram 5, sort of the treasure that's waiting on the other side of avarice, is non attachment. Non attachment is about openness, it's about the freedom to share without any fear. It's the joy of generosity without that constant sense of dread that there's going to be depletion. Non attachment allows fives to connect more deeply, to create more abundance, to live with peace that comes from trusting in themselves and the world around them, that's not going to be too much. If you want a handy little guide for all of the Enneagram monsters and the virtues, including just a couple practical steps, there is a free PDF that I've created, and you can get that in the show notes. All right, fives, time to chase that monster out of the shadows into the light and open up your hands in non-attachment. You have enough, you are enough, and there's more than enough to give. Thanks for listening today. And if you know somebody who would benefit from this episode, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Everybody needs a little encouragement to face their inner monsters.